All right, everybody, welcome to a relatively wet and dreary day here in Reynoldsburg on the 12 o'clock show. But joining me today is Franklin County Auditor Michael Stinziano. Thank you.
Thanks for the opportunity to be back.
No, happy to have you. Always a fun topic to discuss is property taxes, especially in Ohio and around this time of the year. So I think for everybody watching, let's just kind of start with the basics. Tell me what's the process for determining property taxes?
So it all starts with the General Assembly. They establish the formula, but the easiest way to break it down is 35% of the auditor's property valuation, so our assessed value of each property across the county, combined with your taxing district. The taxing district's what voters approve on the ballot box. Easiest way, there's other calculations, other reductions, but 35% auditor's valuation compared with your taxing district, how property taxes are established.
All right. It's always interesting because we get a lot of questions about the tax structure and all of these different things and all of that, but nobody actually pays you anything for your office, correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
It is the treasurer, not the auditor, but the treasurer that does the property tax bill.
Mm-hmm.
But the auditor's office is involved with the calculation, and again, that important role every 3 years of doing property value updates.
All right. It's always a good thing. Property taxes obviously pay for a large number of services, not so much necessarily for the city of Reynoldsburg, but certainly school districts, the fire departments, you've got social services, things like that all the way throughout. That's where all of that money kind of goes to. So
yeah, and when we talk about the one-to-one, so where and 3 years ago we had historic value increases, that did not mean property taxes had a historic increase. But for two levies in 2023, City of Columbus and Dublin City Schools, 50% of values would have been flat or decreased, but those two levies passed. That took that 50% number down to 8%. So that's where we remind folks the value of their vote, knowing what's on your ballot and the impact it can have in the future is so important.
Well, there's this thing, and I'm sure you've heard about it, about a prohibition on property taxes. A lot of organizations are out there signing things like that. How, broad strokes, how is that going to affect? Let's say it gets on the ballot and it passes. How does that impact everything? Like, do you even have a job after
I
that
do
at that
have
point?
it. So the auditor's office does a lot more than just property valuations.
Yeah.
Does it impact our assessor's roles? Yes, but we do the whole protect, connect, and reassess component. So we still have our weights and measures. Mm-hmm. We still are the chief fiscal officer for the county. We still have our dog licensing functions. So the concerns from county auditors across the state isn't about job security. It is more the services and the functions that property taxes do support. If you eliminate that, are we maintaining those services or are we reducing those services? And I don't know what the outcome is going to be. We're going to go back to where this whole thing starts, the General Assembly. And so to the axe the tax credit, to the credit of axe the tax folks, they just want to get rid of the property taxes. They're not coming up with the solution. They're saying, General Assembly, we're looking to you. Some members have suggested a giant spike in sales tax. Mm-hmm. Some folks have said we'll go to income tax. Some say we just won't provide services at all. And I think that's what's really concerning when people realize the impact of no property taxes could be to neighborhoods and communities.
I think, for me in my position, I think that if it were to go that particular direction, I'll go to Kroger and I will hear about it on a daily basis. I'll have to try and go in disguise, which is not a good thing for me. That being said, I think some of our state legislators, they will not have to face that kind of thing. There's a little bit more of an insulation between what community members deal with when it comes to that level, as opposed to me walking into a grocery store or other local elected officials.
Yeah, and increasing, say they increase the sales tax component, it is going to change depending where you live in Ohio. If you're in a border county, you can go to Pennsylvania or West Virginia. Now we're hurting economic components within the state of Ohio. Mm-hmm. So it is an easy question, but implications are very broad.
Yeah. Well, something that is also kind of interesting is you recently wrote an editorial for the Columbus Dispatch. Can you tell us what it's about, again, as best as you can?
Sure. So one of the auditor's roles, I get the honor of serving as the chair of all tax incentive review councils across the county. So that means any municipality, local entity that is providing a tax incentive, it gets reviewed annually. Mm-hmm. Chair of those meetings, there's about 24 that occur. Uniquely, during a Christmas tree bill, so a piece of legislation that had a bunch of amendments added to it, Turks, Tax Incentive Review Councils, Turks specifically were told the public information that we're reviewing as part of our review is no longer public information. Mm-hmm. And that is frustrating, both on the attack on transparency, but also for accountability. When we have these Turk meetings, we're making sure the benefit of the bargain that the local municipality agreed to is there. We want Bob and Betty Buckeye to make those determinations based on the same information we're looking at as well. The way the law is implemented, that doesn't occur anymore, and that is very concerning.
So for those of you that are watching it, there's different parts of what you're talking. So you're kind of like the after effect of looking after an agreement has been signed. For us, it even affects us as far as what we can say if there's even a deal on the table. So let's say that there is a piece of property in Reynoldsburg that is a potential for a tax incentive. We can't even talk about those kind of things in public session like we have in the past. So we have one abatement right now with Central Ohio Primary Care that's been established. We went through the public process. We talked about it at council meetings. We talked about it actually with the school district. And all of it was public. Under this new law, we would not be able to do any of those things until after something is already signed. And even then, there's some lingering after effects, kind of like where it gets into your camp about what happens after something like that goes across.
Correct. I mean, they are not the most thrilling public meetings, but they wouldn't even be public meetings anymore. We'd be in executive session, and I think it's a real shame that it was put in the language the way it was.
Yeah, I think for me, and you've been in public life longer than I have, but for 12 years, I've been told, and we've had trainings that this is sunshine. Everything is out in the open. Everything is public, with very, very few exceptions. And this is just backwards. It's just not, and it's hard for us to understand with it. So hopefully, the State House, in their infinite wisdom, will figure out a way to get through that. And I only laugh because I have hopes.
There's hopes. I'm not confident it'll happen through this year's Turk season. So we have up till the end of August to have all these municipalities review their tax incentives. Realistically, I don't think they'll get the fix done before then. But it is something a lot of members seem unaware that that's what they voted and the implications that has for transparency.
Absolutely. Well, let's just say that somebody is in Franklin County and they go through this year's process of evaluation of property taxes and things like that, but they have questions either before, during, or after. What's the best way to get in touch with you?
So first and foremost, valuation of property value, not taxes.
Property value,
so June 9th, Auditor's Office will be releasing our tentative value. If you are comfortable with that value, so part of what we ask property owners to reflect on is if I was going to sell the property, is this the range that I would sell it for? You don't need to do anything. If you're comfortable with it, it carries forward. It will be used as the final value in December when the treasurer, not the auditor, but the treasurer sends out that property tax bill. However, if you feel the valuation's too low or too high, we want to hear from property owners. They play an important role. We don't go inside their property. We're looking at certain sales. They have additional neighborhood information that we may not have. So there will be an opportunity after June 9th to schedule to meet with an appraiser in person, meet with an appraiser virtually, or just submit documentation. So say you have a third-party appraisal. That would be very helpful evidence of why the auditor's value should be adjusted. And we'll work with any property owner to take in that information. We ultimately have to go back to the Department of Taxation to make the changes, but that is part of the process. But that will be occurring in June, July, and August of this year. So really looking forward to working with property owners and making sure we got fair and accurate values across the county.
All right. And I'm hopeful you'll be at a lot of our community events. I know that
we always are. Lots of questions, but it's always a good time. And I know people don't come to the Tomato Festival to think about the property value, but we're there just in case they are.
Well, you got a lot of cool things at the booths and at the truck, so I think that probably drives a lot of interest.
People really enjoy Frisbees.
Absolutely. Did any questions pop up at all?
Nope.
All right, well, again, I know you got a lot of things going on. I know you're already in Reynoldsburg doing some things earlier today, so keep in mind for everybody, just check out the website. They do office hours, and you go to all the different communities on a number of times throughout the year just to answer questions. Do appreciate the editorial and everything, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. Always good to see you.
Good to see you, too. All right, everybody, so we have the first of two guests, and this is going to be, I would say, I'm hopeful that we're awake. Are we awake?
I'm so awake.
All right, so Kathy, so basically, you graduated last night.
I did.
And you had a lot of fun, right?
I had so much fun.
What were you doing when you're sitting there waiting and everybody else's name is getting called? Are you just kind of twiddling your thumbs? You're on your phone?
I was not on my phone.
Okay.
I turned my phone in.
Okay.
I followed the rules. I was kind of watching to see, like, because, you know, in high school you forget everyone you meet. I was kind of watching to see, like, which of these guys do I remember from freshman year, sophomore year, and there were a lot of cameos, and it was surprising to see the people. I was like, oh yeah, I remember that guy.
Okay.
Awesome time.
You're here because this is a kind of cool thing. So you actually got a scholarship
Yes.
from SWACO, and we all know SWACO is a great partner with us. We do a lot of things in the city. So why don't you talk a little bit about, first of all, what you're going to do the rest of the summer, what you're going to, what the scholarship was for, and where you're going to school.
So I'm going to Miami University in Oxford, Ohio, and I'm going for environmental science.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
And before that, I work as a lifeguard at the Pickerington pool, which I know, but
It's Pickerington. Wow, you're 0 for 2.
I'm sorry. I just had to, find a place to do it because I really like swimming. So
Okay.
that's the career I wanted to choose for at least, my teenage years.
It is a perfect, not today because of the rain and all that.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
Typically when it's sunny out, there's nothing better than being out there and do that. My youngest son actually is a lifeguard at the Y.
Okay.
So, yeah.
But I'll do that, and then I will go to school, and I'm hoping to I feel like this scholarship was kind of a good match for what my ideals are right now, because I really got interested in kind of all stuff related to the environmental health of our country and our local communities in the world. Just recently, when I started actually learning about what it actually is, because it's hard to really know that stuff until they tell you about it, and how everything you do in your daily life can be potentially affecting just the environmental health of the global community or local community. So I'm hoping to reflect the views of the scholarship, which is solutions for the waste management problem that we just as a country have, and everyone has because of how our society is developed. You can do it on kind of a personal level, just create less waste, but you can also, I'm hoping, at least me personally, I'm hoping to find solutions on a broader scale, because that's where the main problem is. You can shave off, I buy less, but I'm hoping to work with some kind of organization to find a way to generally cut down on just all environmental problems. I'll probably find a specific niche that I want to do. Waste might be it, but I have time to develop that opinion just on a broader scale, so that as we move into the future.
So I got to read a little bit about this.
Okay.
So SWACO has announced the recipients of the scholarship program, recognizing 2 outstanding Central Ohio graduates who will pursue a degree. Now this is a $2,500 a year, up to a maximum of $10,000 for 4 years. That's not nothing.
No,
definitely not. That's got to make you happy over there, right? Yeah.
Big fan.
Yeah, good fan. Yeah. So there's always something in there. So I'm just going to read a little bit about the bio that was put in there. So you're a graduate of Reynoldsburg High School. You're going to Miami, which is fine. You embrace the diversity of the new community. Your experience shaped values, the worldview, and desire to create a positive impact. Multifaceted student, I like that. Catherine excels academically, competitively in swimming and music and band. All right, band. What's your instrument?
I play percussion, but in the marching band, I am the marching bass drum. So the big one that's on your tongue.
And do you already know the date for the alumni game next year yet? Has Mr. Gibson done that?
I don't think he's told me the date, but I will be there.
Okay, I was going to say, because I know that that's one of those things.
Yes.
So the ability to kind of go and do this and get this scholarship is a huge thing. So I know you probably had, the awards, and they rattle off what all the different things are and things like that. It's a huge thing, but specifically to go for environment is a big deal. I know board member Neil Whitman was supposed to be here, but apparently he has to teach college classes or something like that, and his schedule has kind of changed. But that's one of the things that I always appreciate about what Reynoldsburg provides opportunities to do. I know it said you lived in Phoenix at one point in time,
Yes.
so all right, so you're relatively new to the area?
Yeah, it's been 5 years.
All right, so have you adjusted to the weather yet?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Already so much I can't even imagine going back to the heat.
okay,
So
that's what
that.
I was going to say, that would be the big difference.
Yeah.
So, but I wish you nothing but success, and hopefully in a couple of years, feel free and check it back in with us, and we'll see where you're at and what cool things you can accomplish. All right, well, everybody, again, congratulations, seriously, well done. Dad, I appreciate the fact that you get $10,000 off college tuition. That's it. I'm right there. I got 2 kids, one graduated and one's in it right now, so I know the feelings.
Yeah, we're waiting for the first bill. So.
All right, well, thank you very much. Best of luck to you.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Always a good thing, and especially after a long night of the graduation ceremony last night. So again, congratulations to the class of 2026. Enjoy it. This is going to be the best start for the new part of your life. We do have a couple of other things that we're going to kind of go on today. First of all, we've got the Reynoldsburg Police Department is doing Coffee with a Cop. That's going to be at Starbucks at the Target on 256 on Thursday, June 4th. between 9 and 11. We'll probably hang out there a little bit ourselves and just see what's going on. Despite the rain, work is still moving along on Wagner Road. This week you probably saw some pedestrian guardrails being installed, and probably not today because of the rain, but the street lights are going to be up there. We are still scheduled to start paving the second week of June at this point. We look to have some pretty clear weather over the next week, so hopefully we can get that done. Wagner 2 is again projected to start June 1st. We're trying to confirm that date right now. Basically, this is everything from Priestley to Broad Street. The first part of it is not going to be too impactful. They may have some people flagging traffic and for directions as they clear out some of the areas for the majority of the work. But you'll see that on our website under our project updates as soon as we get that actual confirmed date. And the reason why it's important is because the contract for the company, they have 550 days to start. So let's say we do start June 1st. That means December 3rd, 2027 is when the completion of phase 2 will be. We'll see. We've got some different things on hours in there. Basically Monday through Thursday from 7 to 5, Friday from 7 to 3, and then Saturdays will make up for days like this with the rain. They've got a bunch of culverts to do that they're going to deal with. I do have good news. Taylor Road is actually repaved, so you have that done. So that's one thing that we can cross off the list. We do know that there was some water out there, mostly because of the construction that's there. You have to put in these bags that go in front of the stormwater drain so the dirt and silt doesn't get in and corrupt it. The only problem with that is when it rains, the water has nowhere else to go. So we're working on that particular thing as well. Any questions about roads or anything like that?
One kind of similar to what you were just talking about. Can the city come out and make sure drains are clear? I went out and cleared on my street.
Yes, if you know for a fact, if you see like obstructions, like when I will walk in my neighborhood and I'll go by the grates and usually there's a lot of gunk towards the end of it, just go ahead and you can actually call the street department. You can put it on the messenger and for this, or you can use the Engage Reynoldsburg app. We do have teams going out on a regular basis, but if there's one that you see, it'll just help us move it up on the priority list. But good question. Lots of programs coming up. We've got the Intro to Archery is going to be coming up. The first one is Sunday, June 6th. This is basically, it's basic instruction. It's going to be at Spangler from 3 to 5. The first one, June 6th, and they've got dates in July and August. We also have this Sunday, I'm kind of looking forward to this one, Nature Adventure Day from 1 to 4 o'clock. It's going to be at the Livingston House. You can do a little tree climbing out there and some other nature activities, so that's always good. If you haven't been out to the Livingston House in a while, please go ahead and check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. We also have what will hopefully be a dry walk at Huber Park. This will be tomorrow night at 6 to 7:30. It's with the Ohio State University and others, and we're going to talk about how we can learn to reduce our risk of cancer. And as all things are important, you can get a t-shirt too. So those are all cool things. Development, we've got some cool fun things coming up. On June 25th, we have this year's version of the BYOB, Build Your Own Business, not Bring Your Own Beverage or anything like that. But it's from 5:30 to 7:30 at the Reynoldsburg branch of the library. You're going to learn all sorts of things about if you want to start your business or you want to grow your business. There will be representatives there from banks if you're looking to take out a loan. You'll have some people from the construction world and the building and permitting side to kind of talk about that process. And basically be able to answer some questions for you all the way. So it's a really good thing to look forward to. So again, that's coming up at the end of the month. We have our next town hall. There's a slight day change. Another event came up that I knew that everybody was going to be at, and I didn't want to just be by myself. So we're going to move it one day earlier. That will be July 22nd at 6:30 p.m. But before that, Reynoldsburg Garage Sale Week is going to be the week of June 4th through the 14th. You can have your garage sales without having to get a permit or anything fun like that. So that'll be a good thing. We are also going to be starting our walk-in talks. Our first walk-in talk is going to be June 25th. We're going to hang out at the corner of Matterhorn and Tanya Terrace, and we're going to go ahead and walk around in that area. We'll put a big message board out there where we'll meet. I'll pick up litter and answer questions about pretty much anything. In the past, we've had good conversations about what kind of development is coming in. What about roads? How about, honestly, sometimes ask how's Ohio State football looking for this year? That type of thing. We'll talk about all sorts of things. Typically, members of council are invited to attend if we're in that specific ward. School board members have also been known to attend, so if you have questions for the school district as well, that invitation will be sent out. So always looking forward to it. It's a lot of fun. I got into the habit of just walking around, even in my neighborhood. My wife will be walking with the dog, and I feel kind of like I'm not doing anything because, our Pomeranian is such a fierce protector. You don't need me around, but I usually grab a garbage bag and a trash picker, and we go around and take care of that stuff. Summer events preview, again, June 7th, we have the Grateful Dead Revival Band that's going to be there at our concert on the lawn at the Livingston House, followed by the Community Band on June 28th with all sorts of patriotic pre-4th of July fun. Pride's major act will be Mojo Flow, so come out. They are phenomenal. Great group all the way around. And I'm looking forward to the Juneteenth Sensation. They're going to be out there for Juneteenth as well. So we've got a lot of cool things coming up, as well as Silver Springs, a Fleetwood Mac band on the 26th. So we've got a lot of different covering the spectrum of music in the month of June. So hopefully you can make it out to that. Pageant information. The time is kind of clicking down on when the pageant deadline is, but if you know anyone that would like to participate either in the young group or at the high school level, I still think we are looking for some potential Tomato Festival queens. I think we have actually our most king candidates, but we'll see how that one works out for the high school guys. But that's still going on, so check that out. Only a little bit of time. And just to kind of let you know, if you do sign up your youngsters to be a part of this, for the younger kids, it's not cutthroat competition. It's a lot of fun. There's some team building, there's some activities, there's lunches. The weekend before the Tomato Festival, and it kind of progresses. You get to see if you win as names are getting drawn up the hat, but everybody gets a kind of a cool little package all the way throughout. So check that out. Now, last week, we actually announced the big thing of who's now coming to our Tomato Festival for that Saturday night show. So that was Everclear coming off of Sonic Temple before they head off to Vegas for a stint. But we also have Drew Hill on Friday, and then we have the Seven Bridges Eagles Tribute Band on Thursday. So there's a lot of those main acts are there. We're working on the opening acts as we speak. But if you're interested in the reserved seating area, all of that will go live July 1st after the 12 o'clock show. So basically, once we get done here, staff's going to run back to their to their office and click open, and there you go. Then you have the opportunity to go ahead and get those reserved seats in there at that point in time. So if you're interested in that, those are the big acts that are coming across. Any questions, comments, anything coming up?
Nope.
All right. Other activities that are coming up, really just a lot of stuff. June and July are big activities months, so kind of keep something in mind. Something is going to happen every single weekend. And we're going to kick things off next Wednesday, June 3rd, and we're going to welcome a couple of different people. We're going to bring in Kelly Cruz from Rainbow Reynoldsburg to talk about our Pride Festival, and Jason Carter from the Reynoldsburg Community Association getting ready to talk about the 4th of July parade. So we've got a lot of cool things coming up with that. Talk about maybe some nominations for the Grand Marshal of the parade and how this year's parade is going to be, well, it's kind of equal the ideas and opportunities of that America 250 remark. So any last second questions, comments, anything like that?
Nope.
All right. So one thing about the Wagner Road stuff, we are monitoring as far as the water and all of that all the way throughout the city. We do have a rain gauge that checks it out, and so far we're still within the framework of what we need to. Otherwise, we'd send out an alert system. But we do have it, and keep in mind, not everything on Wagner is completely finished yet, so we're identifying the areas that need some tweaks and things like that. But other than that, everybody try and stay safe, stay dry, be respectful as always. Please put your shopping carts away. With that, thanks to Auditor Michael Stinziano, and then our wonderful guest from SWACO. I mean, that is a cool award with Catherine winning that thing. $2,500 and up to $10,000 for it, even if it is Miami University. So congratulations again to the class of 2026. Enjoy it, relax, have some fun, and we will see you next week. Bye, everybody.